Back in the 1960s, Newcastle was a thriving industrial city. The BHP steelworks were booming and coal mining was expanding into the Upper Hunter. Industries including the State Dockyard, Commonwealth Steel and Gannington's Railway Manufacturing Facility all contributed to the prosperity of the city. At Cockle Creek, the newly enhanced zinc smelter produced lead, zinc and sulphur products. It received the ore from Broken Hill on a block load running 700 miles, the longest journey in New South Wales. Supporting all this industry were special trains to haul coke and high-grade coal, the wire train transporting steel to Sydney, and a whole private railway moving materials around the steelworks itself. Just about every family had someone involved with one of these industries. It connected the entire community. New South Wales Government Railways centred around Cardiff Workshops, Broadmeadow and Port Waratah. Broadmeadow was unique with its double roundhouses, supplying C-38s, giant Bayer Garretts and a wide variety of other locomotives for the main lines. Port Waratah was a beautiful depot by the river, and even as late as 1970 had a full roundhouse of steam locos, including some nearly 100 years old, to haul the many four-wheel coal trains from East Greta and the various mines. Art Deco was the principal architecture, and the city still has one of the best collections of Art Deco buildings in Australia, as well as many other historic buildings from the Customs House and station to the numerous pubs and industrial buildings which make Newcastle unique. Ferries crossed the Hunter to Stockton carrying cars and passengers. These were originally used on Sydney Harbour prior to the Harbour Bridge opening. They were steam operated and quite unique at the time. The State Dockyards built the Lady and Freshwater class ferries, which have been the mainstay of Sydney Harbour transport for many years. They have certainly performed far better than the newer imported variety. Massive amounts of coal were transported from the mines of J&A Brown and South Maitland Railways to the port, using their unusual English locomotives and some of the 12,000 ancient coal hoppers which had hauled coal for over a century. Coal from Burwood Colliery and other mines on the Belmont line went straight to the steelworks, while passenger service was still happening on Belmont and Toronto branch lines. Those of us who benefited from all of this wanted to be preserved, including many who travelled to Newcastle to witness the last days of mainline steam in Australia. Unfortunately, the steam trains have long gone, as have the steelworks, smelter, shipyards, branch lines, and many of the collieries. Some of us have modelled Newcastle as our home model railways because we love the place and it brings back great memories. The rail traffic in the area in the 60s and early 1970s was fascinating, dense and diverse. This ranged from the famous Newcastle Flyer timetable to the half-minute, to heavy coal and fast freight trains hauled by double Garretts. These were the highlights of over 400 trains a day, which polished the rails. We can see a lifelike working model providing interactive displays and a lifelike model railway. The inspiration for all of this comes from marvellous model railways and displays from around the world, which recreate specific places and times. One local example is the Bathurst Rail Museum. This incorporated a large private layout and morphed into what is now a top tourist attraction in the area. The large model train layout has been enhanced with various displays and is becoming a highly popular museum in the area. This shows that once built, the Miniature Newcastle Museum has the capacity to be a major attraction for the Hunter. For Newcastle, our vision is for a large working museum quality layout closely based on the railways, industries, port and buildings of the Newcastle area in its industrial heyday. This could become a key component of a larger scale museum of industry and rail for the Hunter. One example of such a layout is the Newcastle Fassifern Model Railway, which includes detailed models of Broadmeadow Loco and the steelworks. This is a large working layout where up to 15 operators can run trains at any one time. Thousands of hours have been put into the construction and detailing the various areas. The owner wants to give it a permanent home and is willing to donate it to the museum. It gives us a huge head start. Around the layout, there is capacity for extension of the lines to Maitland and the coalfields, construction of period buildings, the Cockle Creek smelter, and lots of infrastructure to keep building modelers happy. We have some excellent mentors who can guide others to develop their skills and contribute to the project. We are hoping that engineering, architecture, communications, and other students from Newcastle University might be able to contribute as well. These could apply skills ranging from CAD design and 3D printing to creation of animated scenes and special visual effects. We see this as becoming the Model Museum of the Hunter. It will be run by a not-for-profit organisation, and we will be seeking sponsorship from interested parties. If this is something that interests you, or you want to contribute, now is a great time to join us as we develop our plans and put together the master plan before we get going on what we believe will be a major historical and tourist attraction for the Hunter.